Good morning, everyone. Thank you very much for participating today. I'll ask you that if you are, when you're not speaking, to mute your phones. I will call on Dr. Simpson to call the roll, and then afterwards we'll turn to Mr. Shaw. Dr. Simpson, good morning.
Good morning. Mr. Bartley?
Present.
Ms. Bates?
Present.
Mr. DeShield?
Good morning. Present.
Good morning. Dr. Getty?
Present. Good morning.
Good morning. Dr. Green?
Good morning. Present.
Good morning. Ms. Haley? Ms. Haley?
Present.
Dr. Lee?
Present.
Ms. McCusker?
Present. Good morning.
Good morning. Dr. Millie McCarthy?
Present.
Ms. Morrow?
Present.
General Sumter?
Present.
Dr. Wilcox?
Good morning, everyone. Present.
Good morning. Mr. Wu?
Present. Good morning.
Mr. Crawford?
Good morning, present. Thank you.
Dr. Salmon?
Present and good morning.
Good morning. The roll call is complete.
Thank you. Mr. Stone?
All members are present, all 14.
Great.
No quorum.
Thank you, sir. Again, want to welcome the board members and the staff to this public meeting. This meeting will be conducted virtually, and the board members will be participating both by audio and video. The public can have access to the meeting through the town hall streams and the YouTube streaming. Both of these are on the state board's website. The meeting agenda and the materials are also posted there, and the archive video will be posted there as well. Only board members and staff will be able to speak. Ask board members to hold their comments until the end of the presentation, and board members and staff should identify themselves when speaking. Dr. Salmon will respond to each question, or she'll ask the appropriate staff member to do so. I will ask Dr. Simpson to take the roll for votes on action items, and we'll turn to Mr. Schoen to ratify. As we move to the public comment portion of our meeting, again, want to welcome our guests and thank you very much for taking time out of your schedules to be here. We're very much interested in hearing from our public. So what I will do is I will call you based on the order in which you registered. Your comments will be limited to 3 minutes per speaker. Dr. Simpson will monitor the time. When the time expires, you're permitted to finish your sentence, but required to make no further statements. At the end of the 3-minute period, speakers will immediately be released from the call-in meeting room by the meeting room manager. Comments shall be directed to the entire board and not to individual board members. Board members will not respond to the speaker's comments, but will take the comments under advisement. Written statements or other materials should be submitted electronically to Dr. Simpson, who will make sure that the board members receive copies. Again, we're excited to have you, and thank you very much. We'll begin with Ms. Kimberly House, who will speak to us. Welcome.
Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen of the board, good morning. My name is Kim Howes, and I am the parent of a class of 2021 Frederick County High School student athlete, and also a member of a very large contingency of Maryland parents requesting that MPSSAA and the state of Maryland reconsider their decision to postpone sports until the second semester. Our children are being negatively affected by the state of Maryland's complacency when it comes to the push to return to competitive sports this fall. They are being robbed of representing their schools and communities playing the games that they love. Additionally, the juniors and seniors are being deprived of opportunities that could lead to college athletic scholarships. Not opening sports back up this fall will change the trajectory of many of our student athletes' lives, and for some, it will be a life-changing loss. My son is a quarterback at Urbana High School, and he is one of those students. He's a scholarship-level athlete that has worked extremely hard nearly his entire life with the hopes of being recruited. But all that hard work has been negated based on the decision to postpone the fall football season until April. You see, college coaches are relying on game film to recruit this year. But if Kyle does not have a fall season, he will not have any film to evaluate. My son is devastated, as are his father and I. All of his hopes and dreams are coming to a screeching halt. He is struggling to sleep and stay engaged in his academics, and his mental health and well-being are suffering. He is only one of many students in this situation. It's time to get these athletes back on the field, and it is absolutely possible for them to safely return. We are seeing it happen all over the country, even in areas with much higher positivity rates and hospitalization numbers. Maryland is now only one of 5 states in the nation that is not resuming sports this fall. The decision matrix outlined in MPSSAA's roadmap report states that when the state is in stage 3, in-person activities may fully resume. Maryland has been in stage 3 since September 4th, yet steps have not been taken to resume the fall sports season. Last week, the National Federation of State High School Associations published an article about the importance of co-curricular activities, stating that they should be a high priority in the nation's schools right now. It talked about the lessons these activities teach, as well as the role they play in promoting mental health and emotional wellness. Our kids need and deserve to play. We make the plea to consider each case county by county and permit inter-county competition if the state is not prepared to open cross-country. We have the support of many senators and delegates from across the state that have written letters to MPSSAA requesting that plans be developed for sports to begin this fall. I know that at least one member of this board knows what it means firsthand to earn an athletic scholarship to play sports at the highest collegiate level. And I would have to believe that he would also be in favor of getting these athletes back on the field this fall to allow them to earn the same opportunity he was afforded. We are prepared to keep advocating for our kids for as long as it takes, and we are willing to sign whatever waivers are necessary to make it happen. They deserve more, and we ask that you do the right thing and let them play. Thank you for your thoughtful consideration.
Muted. Thank you very much for your comments. We really appreciate that. At this time, we'll turn now to Ms. Christina Lopez. Are you here with us today? Ms. Lopez? Okay. Since we don't have Ms. Lopez, what we'll do now is we'll turn to Ms. Cheryl Bose. Good morning.
Good morning, everyone. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Just want to check. Okay. Thank you, President Crawford and Vice President Halley, for reaching out to stakeholders, including MSEA. I commend you not only for your outreach, but also for having Robert Hall from your National State Boards Association present during an open meeting yesterday. I was happy to hear his advice to the board, especially under the title Lasting Change, specifically to involve stakeholders in the process, not just the product. He stated you should ask, who do you have at the table, and to know the players and involve them. The involvement of MSEA, representing over 75,000 educators, and having the educator voice at the table continues to be a Herculean task. We fought years against members of this board and Dr. Salmon to get a teacher on the state board. I thank Rachel for stepping up, and she and Mrs. Morrow are invaluable assets to your discussions. Educators were kept from applying to serve on the task force on achieving academic equity and excellence for Black boys. In fact, through a public information request, we learned the task force members were handpicked, and even some before the board approved the task force. And the certification regulations. Wow. Various bodies, including the Kerwin Commission and a legislative committee, told this board and Dr. Salmon to collaborate with stakeholders and PISTUB. Instead, a committee was handpicked and MSEA and PISTAP were told that they could observe. And the intentions of both groups continue to be represented by Dr. Sprouse. Surrounding yourselves with yes people will not bring about quality process, policy, or any intended outcomes you wish. As Mr. Hall stated, to include stakeholders may take longer and it may be messy, but it'll bring about lasting change. Finally, the reopening of schools. The stakeholders have not been convened to further discuss the reopening since I believe the late July or maybe early August. Our educators across the state are working hard to provide a quality education to students, even though school buildings may be closed. They continue to be demonized by some elected officials and some of you, and it really needs to stop. To inquire as to why bars and restaurants can open and schools can't shows a sincere lack of knowledge and recognition of what takes place in our schools. Educators want to be in schools with students when all precautions for everyone's health and safety are in place and maintained. To do that, districts have estimated they need approximately $500 per pupil in funding. The $10 million from the Federal CARES Act and the new additional $10 million spread across the state is barely $22 per pupil for health and safety. We need your help to open up schools, not demands and not criticism. We stand ready to continue to work with you as a quality stakeholder in the state. Thank you.
Thank you very much. We appreciate your comments. This time we'll turn to Dr. Funk, Josh Funk. Dr. Funk? We'll now move to Dr. Lori Henry. Are you with us?
Good morning.
Hello.
Pardon me, was this Dr. Funk?
Yes.
I'm sorry. Dr. Henry, if you could just wait just a minute, we'll have Dr.
Absolutely.
Funk. Thank you very much. Dr. Funk, please.
Yes. Hi. Sorry about that. My name is Dr. Josh Funk. I'm a physical therapist. I'm also a former multi-sport athlete in Maryland, as well as one of 5 siblings who went on to play collegiate sports. I'm coming to you this morning with a request to revise the current 2-semester return to play schedule set forth on September 11th. 2 topics that I would propose the board look further into and consider when revising the schedule would be acute chronic workload and load management. These are both newer concepts in the world of sports science and are topics that should be central to any conversation surrounding return to play. I will start by stating that the current plan will have potentially detrimental effects for all student athletes, but that will significantly affect 3 population groups in particular. Student athletes at small schools who have the ability to participate in 3 sports, your best athletes who have the ability to play on a team for all 3 sports, and your athletes who do not have access to facilities, club coaches, trainers, and other luxuries that your most well-to-do students have. These are the students who will be most negatively affected as they either go straight from the most detrained or deconditioned state of their lives to full competition on February 20th and potentially straight through to the end of May. They could be in a position where their detraining reaches a level that is significantly lower than their peers if they do not have access to facilities, resources, and people as a result of socioeconomic status. None of these are ideal when it comes to risk mitigation. If we talk specifically about acute chronic workload, we're talking about the volume and intensity of activity that athletes undergo on a daily, weekly, monthly, and yearly basis when it comes to their playing career. If we relate chronic workload to the current situation, we have student athletes who are most likely in the most detrained of their lives, a time period in which the volume of physical activity that they're performing is a significant deviation from norm. Their buildup in volume of physical activity is less, as is the intensity since they are not competing. This detraining puts them in a position where tissues are only able to handle certain progressive increases in volume and intensity. Think of an activity or an athlete who is typically either working out 3 to 4 times a week with a sport coach, either after school or potentially in PE, as well as the athlete who has 5 to 6 days a week of practice and competition. Instead, we have athletes who have had very modified PE and the absence of summer workouts. Their normal structure and routine has been significantly disrupted. Then we take that athlete and throw them into a 20-day period in which they go from the lowest physical activity period of their life the competition almost a year after their last competition at the public high school level will most likely run into a significant spike in tissue and non-contact injuries. Look no further than the NFL this year and the last NBA lockout. This is not doing right by the athletes, and especially the population subgroups I mentioned earlier. I propose an earlier return to play schedule that would incorporate a higher volume and lower intensity general physical preparation period, which in our world we call GPP, that would be available to all student athletes as soon as safely possible. Through literature and research, we're aware that GPP is a building block to creating a foundation for future performance and mitigating injury risk. This would be less of a sports injury focus, more of a general focus, something that could be run by all of your coaches and available for all athletes. It would build in volume, build intensity, and ideally put them in a situation where they're ready to hit the ground running when competition is appropriate. Is that my beep?
Yes, excuse me, yes, it is.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you very much. Appreciate your comments. Now, Dr. Henry, thank you very much for accommodating us.
Absolutely. Good morning, board members. My name is Dr. Lori Henry, and I'm the Dean of Education at Salisbury University. My comments today are based on a letter dated September 22nd of this year, respectfully submitted to the State Board, representing stakeholders from Maryland higher education institutions, pre-K-12 educators, and local boards of education. Together, we want to express our collective opposition to the proposed regulatory changes in the Code of Maryland Regulations, Title 13A, Chapter 7, Regulation 6, addressing programs for professionally licensed personnel, and Chapter 12, Regulations 1 through 7, addressing educator licensing. Despite our continued opposition presented in public comment, the State Board granted permission to publish these regulations. When these regulations were subsequently presented to the Professional Standards and Teacher Education Board, we once again collectively opposed their publication. At that time, members of PSTAB voted to continue its discussion on both sets of regulations, rather than follow the lead of the board and approve them for publication. PSTAB ultimately voted to deny permission to publish on September 9, 2019, which the State Board overruled with a supermajority vote on September 24, 2019. Without addressing the specific details put forward in the letter, it is important to note two broad concerns. First, when these regulations came before the State Board for permission to publish, several stakeholder groups came forward in opposition, citing substantive concerns about the content of the regulations. Yet the concerns raised about unnecessary barriers, unintended consequences, resource implications, and confusing or conflicting requirements were largely dismissed. Secondly, and perhaps more poignantly, the manner in which the Maryland State Department of Education developed the regulations via a closed-door, non-inclusive process was troubling, and our emphatic requests to engage in a collaborative process were wholly disregarded. Let me be clear. Our collective voices have the desire to clarify and strengthen the regulations by allowing us to work more collaboratively to improve Maryland's teacher preparation programs, increase the number of teacher candidates prepared and employed in our state, and increase the rigor of the teaching profession overall. We see a collaborative process for policy and regulation development as the most beneficial path forward. We are requesting 3 actions by the State Board. First, we ask that you fully consider the concerns raised by PSTAB, our organizations, and other stakeholder groups. Second, allow the blueprint for Maryland's future to run its legislative course before moving the regulations forward. And third, provide the opportunity for our organizations to fully engage in this regulatory process in a spirit of honest collaboration and mutual respect. We can begin this collaborative process by reviewing the proposed regulations within the context of our current COVID-19 related crisis and the challenges facing our schools, colleges, and universities today. Our goal is to create the best policy environment for growing a strong, robust, and diverse teacher pipeline. The current regulations impede rather than foster that goal. But together, we can improve the quality of Maryland's public education system through forward-looking regulations that will help build a world-class education system in our state. The success of Maryland's children and the future of our state depends on it. Thank you.
Thank you very much. We appreciate your comments. At this time, we'll hear from Ms. Catherine McDonough.
Yes, good morning.
Good
My
morning.
name is Catherine McDonough. My husband and I are the parents of 4 children. Our 3 oldest are Frederick County Public Schools high school student athletes. Nico is a senior who plays football and lacrosse. Skylar is a sophomore that plays soccer and lacrosse. And Samantha is a freshman who plays soccer, basketball, and lacrosse. I want to back up a second and remind you of what I just said. Our children are student athletes. Their primary responsibility is that of a student. They are receiving institutional instruction. They are expected to attend classes every day and attendance is being taken. They have homework and they are earning their grades. Our high school student athletes therefore have the right to represent their schools and communities in athletic competitions. To paraphrase Chapter 3 of the MPSSA Handbook, students shall be officially registered in attending the member MPSSA school they are authorized to attend, and students shall be examined and certified to be physically fit to participate. With hundreds of athletes already participating in return to play, both of these criteria have been met. Currently, Maryland is one of only 5 states across the country that is not allowing any high school sports this fall. Just last week, Delaware and Virginia overturned their original decisions. We are calling on the Maryland State Department of Education and the MPSSAA to do the same. According to Maryland.gov, we are at a statewide 7-day 2.75% positivity rate. With flawed testing recently being reported, those numbers are likely even lower. Football fans across the state and the country were thrilled when Big Ten announced that they overturned their ruling and they'll allow competitions this fall. Governor Hogan himself expressed his excitement for Maryland football. We would hope that he means not only University of Maryland, but Maryland high school athletics as well. It's got to be impossible to support one without supporting the other. Parents trying to find guidance and answers have been running in circles. The state tells us that decisions are left to local school systems, and local school systems tell us their hands are tied because decisions are left with the state. Either no one truly knows what's going on, or no one wants to step up and take responsibility. Either way, the ultimate decision should be left with parents. We implore you to consider facts, to consider mental and emotional health, to consider that our children are fulfilling their responsibilities as students, and then reverse your decision so our children can compete. Beyond that, if you leave decisions in the hands of local school systems, we ask that you pressure them to be fair and to be timely. Set standards, make them known, and enforce them. The more the local school systems delay and drag their heels, the more our children suffer. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Appreciate your comments. At this time, we'll hear from Mr. Bert Cashman. Mr. Cashman?
Yes, I'm here. Can you hear me okay?
Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you. Good morning, everyone, and thank you for giving me the opportunity to speak on the return to fall sports. My name is Bert Cashman, and I'm a parent of 2 high school athletes in Salisbury, Maryland. I'm going to get right to the point. Fall sports in Maryland needs to begin now, and over 7,000 people who have signed a petition that has been circulating for only 3 weeks feel the same way. We are in stage 3. The state's positivity rate is at its lowest it's ever been, and many surrounding states have started fall sports or have reversed course and will be starting shortly. We as parents truly understand that there is an element of public concern, of public health concern. There is no denying that. But the big question is, how big of a concern is it really? And why is the choice to participate not being given to parents and student athletes like it is in other states? Yesterday, I received some pretty compelling information. I called the Pennsylvania Interscholastic Athletic Association just to see how much of a public health concern this has really been since they started sports in August. The director that I spoke to said, we have not had one case, outbreak, or issue reported to us that has been directly linked to sports since we started in August. In many regards, parents also wonder if it's now becoming a political issue in addition to the debate about return of students to school. Governor Hogan made this very clear in a recent post on social media. If the state of Maryland public schools and MPSSAA cannot figure out a viable solution to start up fall sports now, I will very seriously consider withdrawing my kids from Maryland Public School effective immediately and enrolling them in private school or moving to Pennsylvania where they are offering interscholastic sports. I know that there have been many other parents that have talked and who share these same feelings. As a matter of fact, the damage has already been done in some Maryland schools where athletes have already transferred to neighboring states who are currently playing. There is plenty of documented research on the positive physical, mental, social, emotional health benefits of regular athletic participation. Conversely, there is plenty of research and anecdotal evidence on how detrimental not offering kids an opportunity to be physically active can be. It's safe to say that for some students, athletic participation is really the incentive they have to attend school. Refusing to start fall sports now could not only have adverse implications on our students, but it could also have adverse effects on state funding due to parents withdrawing their kids. These are facts, ladies and gentlemen, and it's hard to deny any of that. Please take them into consideration and vote to bring back fall sports effective immediately. Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you very much, sir. At this time, we'll turn to Mr. Anthony Masters. Mr. Masters.
Good morning. Can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Thank you. So just as important as it was to direct all public schools to close on March 12th, it's equally important to direct all schools to offer an option for full-time in-person education now. Without that, counties can make decisions on options to offer based on what is easiest, less controversial, least expensive, or fail to put kids first. Our kids deserve better than that. Decisions like this should be based on data, research, and logic that can be learned from so many other states who have fully opened for several weeks. You could also look at private schools here in Maryland for how they're implementing in-person schooling and take similar measures. Not having an option for full-time in-person education is not equitable for all students. Some students and families don't have the resources and extra parental support at home as much as needed with these virtual school programs. All Maryland students deserve a quality public education with the same opportunities and potential to excel, and not just those counties who decided to offer equitable options or those who have the extra support at home to ensure they are on all the right websites at all the right times and getting all the right printing and paper and help answering all the questions during all the independent work. We have 5 kids in Frederick County spread across all 3 levels. We have seen that our 2 older kids in middle school and high school have adjusted better to being able to work independently, but we do see them struggle with the emotional tolls of the isolation, depression, decreasing motivation, and a dread and disdain for school that was not there before. However, our 3 in elementary school need a lot of extra help all through the day. We are limping along managing it all, but know a lot of students don't have the access to extra help all through the day. Like our older kids, they also struggle with isolation because for some reason the school schedules have them all with different lunchtimes and breaks, so they all have to eat and take breaks all alone every day. All our kids enjoy playing sports, and kids need something besides a lonely computer screen every day to look forward to. Despite all the lacrosse, baseball, and soccer that's been played all over the state of Maryland this summer and fall, high school sports do not have any plans of starting back until February of next year. February next year. With hundreds of teams and games that have been played this summer and fall, there is good data and safety measures that can be evaluated and implemented for our high school student athletes to start playing now. No reason they can't be playing now. Our kids go shopping, bowling, movies, amusement parks, pay to play on club sports teams, but can't go to school and play high school sports. Something doesn't add up. It's time to give parents, kids, and teachers options that include virtual school for those who feel they need it, but also full-time in-person school that provides proven consistent quality and excellence in education equally for all students. Every student in the state deserves both options. Likewise, experience from sports all over Maryland and other states show that high school sports can be safely started now with an actual fall season. The spring student athletes also lost their entire season last year and were hardest hit by the shutdown. All plans should consider this and allow a full spring season this year, so they get more than a shortened 4-week season over 2 years. Temperatures can be taken, more waivers can be signed, parents can transport their kids, but there's no actual data-driven reason that our high school student athletes can't be playing sports right now. Kids need something besides a lonely computer screen every day to look forward to. Give us the choice. Thank you for keeping kids first.
Thank you very much. This time we'll have Ms. Corinne Giglumumine. Please help me with your pronunciation of your name. I apologize. Are you with us today?
Hi, yes, I'm Corinne Guglielmini.
Okay. Apologize for the mispronunciation of your name.
It happens every day. Thank you. So I am Corinne Guglielmini. I have 5 children that have been in the Frederick County Public Schools, and I'm the executive director of the Housing Authority of Washington County. I've seen firsthand, both professionally and personally, what the toll of being at home and not having sports or extracurricular activities, to my clients and work. These kids are missing their coach's support. And I want to let you guys know that I thank you for giving me the opportunity to provide my personal perspective for you to consider. I also deeply appreciate and respect that you dedicated your time and effort, and you devote so much to the education of the children in Maryland. I'd also like to mention that my father's a lifetime educator, and my sister and brother-in-law have dedicated 30 years each to teaching in Maryland's public school system. I personally moved to Maryland over 20 years ago to provide my children with the highest quality education offered in Maryland compared to other states. My 5 children's education is my highest priority, and they certainly have benefited from the opportunities that they would not have received in Texas or West Virginia public school programs. I currently have 2 kids in high school. Opportunities. This is what the board has to consider, and you are capable of providing opportunities. Some of my kids found academics came easily to them. I have 2 children that struggled academically. This was humiliating and demoralizing to them until they found that they excelled in an extracurricular activity. Suddenly, they blossomed in their after-school activities and identified with positive self-image. They worked harder at academics so that they could participate in their beloved after-school activity and stay eligible. They developed healthy friendships and believed their coaches supported them and really appreciated the time that the coaches provided to them. In order for my children to afford college, they must secure academic and other types of scholarships. Last year, my son played on the state championship-winning Middletown Knights football team. Because he and his teammates had continued success, each of the players benefited from having spectacular statistics, which gives each of them more opportunities to compete for athletic scholarships. More opportunities forward. If the season is condensed and the playoffs are not scheduled, the athletes on their team will have fewer opportunities. Opportunities each of our kids so desperately need to advance to college. Kids in other states where return to play is permitted will have an unfair advantage to earn athletic scholarships. Our state has met and exceeded the below 3% positivity rate set as a benchmark for return to class instruction. Please be the leaders that help their work, that keep their words and allow the kids to return to in-person instruction and their extracurricular activities. Do not let fear guide you. Do not let negativity guide you. For our kids' physical and mental health, please dedicate yourselves to being leaders that do the hard work necessary to return our children safely to classroom instruction and full participation of traditional extracurricular schedules for activities. Because with you, we can all work cooperatively for the benefit of our children and society and return the kids to play. For Maryland is the state that provides opportunities. Please let them play. Thank you.
Thank you very much for your comments. At this time, we'll turn to Ms. Erica Pavin to address us.
Good morning.
Good morning.
All right. My name is Erica Pavone, and I'm a mother of 5 children who attend Anne Arundel County Public Schools, 2 of which are tri-sport athletes. I come to you today to urge you all to not only reconsider resuming high school sports this fall, but to acknowledge and support our student athletes. On June 12th, Governor Hogan released a statement that allowed high school sports to resume during phase 2. After a mere month of summer conditioning, it was terminated. The only option left for families was to have their child join a pay-to-play league. Majority of families cannot afford to spend hundreds or even thousands of dollars in league fees and rely on school sports to further develop their child's athletic ability. It's not fair for those kids who cannot afford it. By taking the choice away to play high school sports is having alarming consequences such as depression, bad sleeping habits, and destroy their motivation for everything. Local rec and close sport programs have been on the field both practicing and playing games since mid-June. My 13-year-old daughter has been playing soccer since mid-June with no issue. There is no difference between an 8th grader and a freshman playing sports besides one being in high school. We have been in phase 3. Student athletes and parents have been patient for the green light to play. Despite the recent record low positivity numbers, the 2-semester plan has yet to be changed. MP, SSAA, and anyone involved has not been transparent to the public with their meetings. Lack of communication, accountability, and no sense of urgency has the parents outraged. Student athletes are being ignored. The bottom line is high school student athletes are being treated as an afterthought. Kids are enrolled and attending classes. If they can condition, practice, and train with their coaches during the first semester plan, then just let them play. It is our choice as parents to allow students to play or not, but taking the choice away from us is not acceptable. A simple no will not suffice this time around. If health officials are deeming youth in college sports safe to play, then we deserve to know your justification on why high school student athletes are not allowed. Local clubs and youth programs have already found out there's a safe path to resume. Please help restore the mental well-being of our student athletes instead of robbing them of their choice to play. I urge you to get all your student athletes back to their respective fields, and thank you.
Thank you very much. We want to thank all of our speakers this morning. At this time, we're going to take just a very brief break as the board members switch to a different line as we prepare to hear the oral arguments. Board members, if you will dial into the next line, I appreciate it. Start right away.